Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and here I talk about books and all things reading, a little bit of writing as well. Today, we're going to be talking about every single book that I have on my physical TBR, which I still haven't counted it, but it's a lot and it's bad, and I'm embarrassed. So, we're going to start with literary fiction because that's my favorite genre. And before I start this, I'm just going to say I used to buy books so frequently. I stopped probably a year ago, but a lot of these books are from like years ago, whenever I first started reading, like 5 or 6 years ago. So just keep that in mind. It's not as bad as, some people on the internet. To make myself feel better, but it is still a lot of books. I assume it's 100 or less. It could be over. It might be over. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know what some of them are about, honestly. So I'm not going to go into detail with every book, obviously. I'm just going to maybe say a few words. Let's just get right into it with the literary fiction books that I have. So the first one is by one of my favorite authors, Sally Rooney. Intermezzo. This is, I think, maybe the only one that I haven't read yet. I think this is the last one before I read all of her books. The next one is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. That one is about students in a Shakespeare class, which I was in Shakespeare class last semester. So I'm excited to read that. I wanted to read it while I was in Shakespeare class, but I just never got around to it since, I have so many books and I'm always picking up another one because I read 4 to 5 books at one time. I'm a really big mood reader. That's another reason why I have so many books. Moving on, I read The Song of Achilles and I really liked it, so I thought I'd pick up Circe by Madeline Miller, but I never got around to it. I bought that book years ago. I really hope I do read it soon. I just feel like I would rather read that book in like wintry fall vibe season. I don't know. The next one is Martyr. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Kaveh Akbar. I think that's right. I started this book and I couldn't get into it, so I just put it down. I don't exactly want to unhaul it because I know it's apparently really good. Next is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one, I have read almost all of her books. Not Atmosphere, though. I wanted to read Carrie Soto is Back and then read Atmosphere, but similarly to Martyr, I started Carrie Soto is Back, and I couldn't get into it at the time, so I put it down, and that's very rare for a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, so I'm probably going to pick it up this summer since it's kind of summer vibes. The next one is A Little Life by Hanya. Nope, I don't know how to say that. My coworker said that she couldn't read any more books after this. She said it literally ruined reading for her, and she hasn't read a book since she finished this, so I'm scared. The Woman Destroyed. I got this book like 5 years ago, and I still haven't read it. I have Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This one is about a black babysitter or nanny watching a white family, so white kids, and she gets accused of, I think, kidnapping in a grocery store. It's about racism, and I think it'll be a great book. Next is Perfume by Patrick Suskind. Suskind? I don't really know. Next is Otessa Moshfegh's Eileen, which I am surprised I still haven't read this. I just finished Lapona. I still have a few more of her books to get through. I think just Eileen and McGlue. I don't know if I'm ever going to read McGlue, but I've read My Year of Rest and Relaxation, Death in Her Hands, Labona, and I'm in the middle of Homesick for Another World, her short story collection. But next one to pick up is Eileen. The next one I have is Outline by Rachel Cusk. I have not read any of Rachel Cusk's um, books, but I've listened to her talk on interviews on YouTube, and I really am interested in her mind and her writing, so can't wait to read one of her books. I think this is a trilogy. There's Outline, Transit, and Kudos. The next one is Joan Didion's Democracy. Love Joan Didion. I just finished today A Book of Common Prayer, and then last month I finished Play It As It Lays, and I love her fiction so much. So I'll definitely get into Democracy soon, maybe over the summer. Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers. Next, I have two books from my favorite author at the moment, Lily King. I love Lily King so much after reading Writers and Lovers. So I have Euphoria by Lily King and then Father of the Rain, which I really want to read Father of the Rain soon because it's about an abusive father, which is an element that I have in my book that I'm writing. So I want to see how that's done in someone else's way. I also need to be looking for comps, like books that are like the book that I'm writing for future publishing. So that'd be nice if it, to me, seems like a book that is sort of like my book. Then we have The Little Friend by Donna Tartt, which I absolutely love Donna Tartt. I think I've talked about that on this channel. She's one of my favorite authors. And yeah, I started The Little Friend, did not get into it. I only read the prologue and then I just put it down because I was reading 5 other books at the moment. Another Coco Miller's book is Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which I also bought 5 years ago and I have not picked it up. I have this Book Talk Famous Book Bunny by Mona Awad. I still also haven't read this and I bought this years ago. A lot of people are absolutely obsessed with that book and I think the premise sounds really cool and I really want to read it soon. I just don't know when I'll be in the mood to read it. Normal Women by Ainsley Hogarth, which she wrote Mother Thing, and Mother Thing was absolutely one of my top books of all time. 5, 6 stars. So I am excited to read this. The next one is Death Valley by Melissa Broder, which she wrote Milk Fed, and that book was weird as hell. So I'm excited slash scared to read Death Valley, but I also think that it won't be as strange as Milkfed because Milkfed was strange. Strange is quite the understatement. And we have Dream State by Eric Puckner. Then we have Great Black Hope by Rob Franklin. Next are my hardcovers, my literary fiction hardcovers. We have Cleaner by Jess Shannon. I picked this up literally because of the cover. Just because of the cover. It's beautiful. I really, really like this cover. I think it looks really cool. Um, it was just a cover by All Fours by Miranda Julie or July. I think it's Julie and I don't know, I'm not sure. Then at another local bookstore in Baton Rouge, I got Kin by Tayari Jones, and this book is set in Louisiana. And I think it's about like a family. It's kind of like family drama or like a family story, but it is set where I live, so that's cool. Those are all of the literary fiction books on my TBR. So next, let's get into the few romance books that I have. Don't mind the books that are piling over here. I don't have anywhere else to put them, but I have 3 romance books on my TBR. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I picked this up 1 or 2 years ago and I still have not read it. The only Ali Hazelwood book that I've read is The Love Hypothesis, which I really liked, and I was kind of waiting for summertime or fall time to read this. Next is Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer. I've never read an Abby Jimenez book, but I was obviously saving this one for the summer, and I'll probably start this soon on a day that I'm at the pool. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, which will be my first Emily Henry book because I still have not read Emily Henry book. That is because I don't read romance, like, ever. I usually read literary fiction that has a subplot of romance, or any kind of book that has like a subplot of romance. I don't really like romance specific books. I've only read a few of them. And the ones that I did read, I was in like 8th grade. The next genre of books is sci-fi, which I only have two. I have Project Hail Mary, because I haven't read this book yet. Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. I'm really interested in this one. I need to read this one soon. Let's move on to my thriller slash horror books. Okay, so starting with my first book, I don't know if this is a thriller, a horror, or like just a regular fiction book. I don't really know. I didn't really know where to put it. Bright Young Women, Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. We have American Psycho. Favorite movie of all time. I've watched it like 25 times. I really want to read the book. And we have Sign Here. Somebody on YouTube, an ASM artist, recommended this book. It's by Claudia Lux, I think. It's about a guy who works in hell, and he has to get a family to sign their souls over or something. I think that sounds so much fun. But it's supposed to be like actually scary, so it's a horror book, but I feel like I'll like it. Next, we have Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I still haven't read this. I don't really know why. We have Tender as the Flesh. I also need to read this. I've heard so much about this book. There's such mixed opinions on this. I really, really want to read it. It's really not that long. Like, I could read this quick. I don't really know. I'm just really scared. I'm intimidated, especially by the contents. But if I can read Lat Bona, I can read anything. Next is all of my Stephen King books, which I've literally read 2 of them. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unread ones. I just, for some reason, collected a bunch of Stephen King books from the used bookstore. So, starting off, we have The Shining. Can't wait to read this. Definitely gonna read it in winter. Then we have Carrie, which I want to read this summer. Then I have The Body. And then we have Salem's Lot. Then my grandma got me It. I don't know when I'm ever gonna pick this up. This is probably gonna take me like years to read. It's huge. And the text is small. Stephen King is actually insane. How do you do this? My gosh. Then I have 11/22/63, which everybody's obsessed with. So I really need to get into this soon as well, which I've been saying that about literally every book, but I'm really excited to read this book. I just need to be in the mood to pick it up. It's huge. It's also like wide and big. Now we can go through my fantasy books. Mate by Allie Hazelwood, another Allie Hazelwood book. I read Bride. Oh wait, I also read Bride by Allie Hazelwood. I completely forgot that. Earlier I said the only one that I've read is The Love Hypothesis. That's not true. I really liked Bride, so I picked up Mate. I can't wait to read this. I'll probably end up reading it this summer, even though it's more kind of like fall vibes, I guess. Next we have the Throne of Glass series. I only have 2 of them because I was debating on which one to start with first, and I still haven't figured it out. So I have Throne of Glass and Assassin's Blade. I just don't know which one to start with, so if you're watching this, let me know which one I should start with, because I'm still debating. So I went ahead and got both, which is kind of stupid, I don't know. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I'm really excited to read this because I love R.F. Kuang's writing, but I'm intimidated by this series. I'm intimidated by all of her books, but this one scares me. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Haven't read any of her books. Also by her, we have Six of Crows. Lastly, we have Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I'm really excited to get into this series as well. My friend just read it and she liked it. This is actually terrible. This is actually terrible. There's so many books just everywhere. Anyway, next is my memoirs. I have 3. So we have Uncultured, a memoir about somebody who escaped a cult or was raised in a religious cult by Daniela Young. Can't pronounce the middle name. Committed on Meaning in Mad Women by Suzanne Scanlon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. This one sounds really, really interesting. Then we have Sociopath. It's about a girl who found out she was a sociopath when she was really young, and grew up being a sociopath. Patrice, I can't say that. I can't say that. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to mess it up. But I think that's really interesting. Growing up a sociopath, and she like knew she was different and everything, and she just had to like deal with it and figure out how to try to, I don't know, fit in. That's so interesting. Next, we have my historical fictions. So we have 2 Toni Morrison books. We have Beloved, which everybody loves this book. Sula, which I've heard a lot about recently, and it'll probably be the next book that I read. Everything is actually falling apart. Like, everything's falling all over my bed, everything's falling all over the floor. I'm almost done. So now we have my classics, which is my second favorite section because literary fictions are my favorite. Well, classics might be my favorite. Starting with my Penguin classics, we have Emma by Jane Austen, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Dracula by Bram Stoker. I'm definitely reading this during Halloween time. This one is a play, but still, I think it counts for this video because it is still on my TBR, The Death of a Salesman. Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. An Apprenticeship or The Book of Pleasures by Clarice Lispector. I've heard a lot about her writing, so I wanted to give it a try. Just haven't picked it up yet. Got that a few days ago. I forgot these Penguin classics because they're from the UK. They're from Waterstones. I ordered from Waterstones literally just to get the East of Eden cover from Waterstones or from the UK because I didn't like the US Penguin cover. Is that crazy? Maybe a little bit. It wasn't that bad. It was like $40 to get 2 books, which like that's literally the price it is at Barnes and Noble. So whatever. I got East of Eden by John Steinbeck. So scared of this book, but I can't wait to read it. And then I also threw into the order Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, which is like kind of an essay, but it's kind of like in novel form, I guess, is what I've heard. I really can't wait to read this. Some of these could be not considered classics, but I just threw them in the pile anyway. So that's why. Another one of Virginia Woolf's books, we have The Waves. I have The Great Gatsby, which I've already read this. So technically it's not on my TBR, but I want to read it again. I read it in high school. Then we have Stoner by John Williams. I've heard a lot about this, mixed reviews, but I can't wait to read this. The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. The Bible. The Gluttenberg Bible? Gutenberg Bible. I don't know. On YouTube, talked about this book, and I picked it up literally from her video because I was really interested in the story. I also have read Animal Farm, but it's on my TBR because I want to read it again. I read this in like 8th grade, so I want to read it again because I kind of forgot most of it. I know what it was about, but I forgot the story. I want to read it again. I want to experience it again because it was magical. Crime and Punishment, The Handmaid's Tale, which I am like halfway through. I just put it down because I was bored, embarrassingly enough. But I obviously really want to read it, as does literally everybody, because it's amazing and it's like a modern classic. So Lolita, which I don't think this is a classic, but I just threw it in here. because most everybody knows, or maybe it is a classic. I don't really know. I don't really know. I can't say I'm excited to read it, but I I don't know. I don't know because I know it's absolutely awful, but I am excited to compare it to Half His Age and My Dark Vanessa because it's from the creepy old man's perspective instead of the girls, which the other two were from the girls' perspective. Then I have The Monk by Matthew Lewis. I got this during Halloween, never opened it. Last one that I have is The Catcher in the Rye, which I got this book 2 years ago. It was a gift, and I never read it. That is all of the books that I have on my physical TBR, and I think after this video, I'm going on a book buying ban because oh my god, that's crazy. I have way too many books. Like, that just shifted something in me that just altered my brain chemistry. I'm like annoyed with myself. Why do I have so many? I'm gonna count them and let you know how many books I actually have. Okay, after counting, I can confirm that I have 76 unread books. I'm on a book buying ban. I'm on a book buying ban for sure. I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna end it here and get to reading because wow. Yeah, well, see you guys soon. Bye.